former NFL player and former NFL agent Rich Moran returning to KUSI. Rich, we should mention the football season is underway as we speak. It appeared, at least from the network telecast, that everybody was standing for the national anthem.
It's a good thing, I think.
All right, so last time we were together, we were on the barge, and you said no player in the last year of his deal is going to be kneeling because they can't afford the negativity.
Or unless they want out of their deal for particular.
Which brings us to Colin Kaepernick. I know we're driving this in the ground. We have other things to talk about. But just quickly, take a look at this timeline. Explain to me how it all starts in 2000. Actually, was it 2011 he was drafted in the second round? And then he signs his extension in 14, and then Harbaugh resigns. Had Jim Harbaugh stayed in San Francisco, would we even be having the social justice issues?
I don't think so at all, because really when you look at Harbaugh and you look at Alex Smith, he was drafted, I think, first pick in 05, he developed Alex Smith and brought his career forward. As a player, you look what he did for him, and look what he's doing for me. You know, he went out on the limb for him, and next thing you know, he's playing very well. And there's no way in the nature of the National Football League that the negotiator, like the 49ers' Prague, is going to give a big extension to somebody unless the coaching staff and the organization pushes for it, which he did.
So Harbaugh obviously pushed for it. But was he cutting his guy a sweetheart deal, knowing that in 6 months he was going to be out of there? Or do you think that his resignation came as something separate to Kaepernick?
Right. Well, that's a good question. Jason Lockenfer is the first one, I think, who said that he'd sign a $120 million extension with a $60 million guaranteed, which comes to about 50% of the deal. However, under further research, it looked like the deal really only had a signing bonus of about 12.5. Okay, and then there was further guaranteed money that was to be executed on the side of the club. It became what's called as a team-friendly deal, because each year the team could decide to opt out of the deal, and the protection that he had to get the balance of the guarantee was only if the team executed it.
So I guess what we're trying to get around to saying is we have video of the now Nike campaign. What some people are giving, like wrongly or rightly, are giving Colin Kaepernick this label as, trying to be a social justice warrior. But what was part of his decision to kneel on the sidelines, was that just to try to get out of San Francisco and try to find another deal where, because he was no longer being coached by Harbaugh, his skills were no longer being employed by a coach that fit him.
Right.
He was looking for the next best fit, was he not?
Well,
and was this just a ploy to get out of San Francisco?
I think if cumulatively to detail it, in 15 was the first year of his new deal. His contract expired. The first year was 15. He gets hurt. He went up and rehabbed up in Vail, Colorado, with Dr. Stedman Hawkins Clinic. So he was gone for 5 months rehabbing up in Vail, Colorado, not in the training room. And so concurrently, his injury was projected as a torn labrum. It was serious, 4 to 6 months, which time lined up to April of 16. Why is that important to the viewers? Because of April 16, he was due about $14 million in guaranteed money. And if he was released because they said he was injured, he was healthy, he could have a grievance. The other is if he got the money and they said, okay, we're going to keep you because you're injured, which he wasn't rehab, then he had $14 million guaranteed. So it became a business decision of where to rehab, and I think it ruffled a lot of feathers inside. When you upset the training room, that training room also reports to the people, and now all of a sudden you lose some of the control.
All right, well, let's switch gears. Because first of all, in 2018, yes or no, are we going to see fewer or more protests on the sidelines?
Well, I think you'll see less and less, because I think you saw the pinnacle of it, and if fines start coming down, it will affect some of the players. But I think most of it is past.
Le'Veon Bell.
Right.
Won't sign it, or is taking his time signing his franchise tag that will pay him $14 million this year and change. Your thoughts about, do the Steelers need Le'Veon Bell more than Bell needs the Steelers?
Well, yeah, it's a complicated question, but in reality, when you look at Le'Veon Bell, he's got 2 franchise tags between September of 17 and December of 18. That's a cumulative figure of about $30 million, okay, almost. So now all of a sudden, if he signs another deal in 19 of February or March with a new team, he's going to have a windfall of money. But when you look at his production last year, I happened to go to the Cincinnati game, the guy is productive, and he has, when you look at great running backs, he has Hall of Fame linemen in front of him, DeCastro, Pouncey, he has the big left tackle, okay? that position is one of the most codependent positions in football. That you have to have a line that's dominant and has combination blocks.
I'll make you this wager. Yeah. Whoever's carrying the ball for him is going to have a great season.
Yards.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah,
all right, so before we go, we have about 40 seconds left. The Raiders trade a pick and Khalil Mack to the Bears for 2 first-rounders, a third-round, fourth-rounder. Who got the better end of that deal?
I think it was mutually beneficial. I'm not a Bears fan. However, I think it helps the Bears a lot because they just signed an extension with Rodgers. And when you put pressure on a quarterback that's that accurate, it disrupts him. And so
that was an acquisition to beat the Packers.
I think it was, especially when you did the extension. Is that how are you going to stop this most accurate passer in the history of football?
And the Raiders are going to do okay.
They're going to get 2 first-round draft picks, okay?
All right, Rich, obviously we have a lot of football to talk, and not a lot of time. We'll do it again, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Rich Moran, everybody. Coming up tonight, we'll have a bunch more coming your way. We'll see you at 10:45 on the All Sports Report. Back to you guys.